Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thunder Today YouTube channel. I am your host, Dylan Hibbard, and Game 5 of the NBA Finals is tonight at 7:30 Central Time on ABC, with the series tied at 2 games apiece. And this is one of the bigger games in the series that you can have going 2-2. Now it's a best out of three. The Thunder have two of those three at home, being tonight Game 5, and then if necessary, a Game 7. But today we're going to kind of go over a few points about tonight's game that for the Thunder to get a win tonight, including their defense and what their defense needs to do to keep them in this game and let their offense contribute. We're going to look over the turnover battle and see what those stats look like if each team leads that turnover battle. And then later on, I'll give you my predictions for the game tonight. But once again, tonight is Game 5. Kind of give you a quick review of what has happened so far in this series. Game 1 was the infamous Tyrese Halliburton game winner. Thunder had control of Game 1 the entire time until the very end when Tyrese hit that game winner with .3 seconds left on the clock. And then in Game 2, the Thunder come rumbling back and win by double digits by 16, 123 to 107 to kind of retake that momentum back and have it as a split series heading into Indiana. Then in Game 3, the Pacers took Game 3 going up 2-1. It just looked like the Pacers were the better team. The Thunder couldn't get anything going on offense, and they struggled with turnovers in that and shooting, and it led to a 2-1 deficit. And then most recently on Friday night, the Thunder tied the series up at 2 games apiece with a game where the Thunder were not shooting well at all, and the Pacers had control of it until about 5 minutes left in the game, and then SGA took over. The Pacers couldn't buy themselves a bucket, and it ended up being a Thunder win, which leads us into tonight in Game 5 here at the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City. And, I can't wait for this atmosphere. You've seen kind of the first 4 games, how these fan bases are and how crazy home court advantage is in this series. And now you have it to where Oklahoma City's the closest they've ever been to an NBA championship. The fans are going to be packed in tonight. It's going to be a crazy environment. I can't wait to see how the fans affect the game. If they can get the Pacers they get them a little bit nervous. Maybe they force a few turnovers, but we'll see on that. But kind of transitioning into our first topic of the day on the Thunder defensive side of things, one of the big things is the Thunder defense just needs to slow down the Pacers offense in general. We've seen over the past couple of games where the Pacers have kind of sped it up where the Thunder aren't able to force as many turnovers as they would like. And for the Thunder defense side of things, obviously forcing turnovers is your bread and butter, and that's what you do to get those fast transition points and play out in space. But when you're playing a team who takes care of the ball so well and knows how to bait you into those turnovers where they can backdoor you and get those easy buckets into those corner threes, you kind of have to play it at a different way. And we saw a little bit of that once the Thunder switched back to that double big man lineup when they put Hartenstein back in instead of Wallace, where the Thunder are kind of letting Chet roam free and be that rim protector, where the wings and guards can actually sit out and protect that three more, where the Pacers are forced to go inside, and that makes it tougher on them when you have 2 7-footers down there that are protecting the rim. And for the Pacers, they would much rather just be able to drive and kick that ball out to the corner for those threes. So if the Thunder keep running that double big lineup where they're forcing them in, but the guards and wings are able to stay out on the perimeter, it's going to make it tough for the Pacers offense to get going, specifically Tyrese Halliburton. He had in Game 3 was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double, and then in this most recent Game 4 wasn't nearly as good but still effective. And for this game, the Thunder just really need to – Obi Toppin's actually been the Thunder killer. You need to pay attention to him. The Thunder have not been boxing him out, and he, in Game 4 and 3, had a couple of big putback dunks where he's just kind of jumped right over 2 or 3 Thunder defenders where it leads to a putback dunk. So you got to keep your eyes on top, and obviously you got to slow down Tyrese. You got to somehow contain Siakam. Siakam's going to end up most likely with 20 and 10 every night, but you got to make them work for those 20 and 10s. You can't just let them get comfortable, get to his spots, because that's when he can really take over a game and steal this game 5 at home, which is the last thing the Thunder need. All you need if you're the Thunder now is just win at home the rest of the series. You win tonight, you go back to Indiana, say you lose, you have a game 7 on your home court, which would be absolutely insane just to hear the crowd going crazy and just to be a part of. But as we transition into this next topic about how the Thunder are going to take care of the ball, but also how it's going to affect the turnover battle. So on the Thunder's defense, they want to force turnovers, they want to get steals, blocks, and push that on the pace. But throughout this series, we've seen that the turnover battle is not necessarily the end-all, be-all. In Game 1, the Thunder had only had 7 turnovers and forced Indiana to 25, and they still lose that game because they weren't able to score off of those turnovers. And then in Game 2, when the Thunder took their first game to even up the series at 1, they only had the turnover battle won by 2 or 3 turnovers, so not that big of a difference. In Game 3, the turnovers, I think the Thunder had 1 more than the Pacers. The Pacers ended up winning that, and then here in this Game 4, they both had the same amount at 15. So for two teams that like to play fast-paced, turnovers aren't the biggest deal, but if you're on the Thunder side of things, you still want to force those turnovers because your defense does so well and you are so good in transition. The Pacers are as well, but the Thunder are better at forcing those turnovers, getting those poke the balls loose, get those 50-50 balls, and eventually those were turned into points. If you're forcing 20 turnovers and you can score 30 off of those 20, that's going to make a big difference in this game, and especially in a game where this is going to be the biggest game most everybody on this floor, besides Alex Caruso and Pascal Siakam, so one from each side, this is going to be the biggest game all these guys have played in. So it helps that the Thunder at home, they're going to have that crowd backing them up, and you're just going to see some all-around great basketball. And for people, I'll keep saying it, for the people that just only look at ratings and are like, oh, this finals has been terrible, you just haven't been watching. This has been some of the best finals games we've seen since the turn of the century. And I saw a list of people ranking finals throughout, I believe since 2010, and this 2025 one was already top 3. I think they had it behind 2013 and 2016. But I mean, this definitely, if this goes 6, it will go 6 now, definitely. But if it has that chance to go 7, this could be one of those all-time series. And for a lot of people, it's going to be tough to put it over 2016 because of the 3-1 comeback. But if you look at that series, all those games were blowouts besides Game 7. And if you look at this series, besides Game 2, all these games have been at least somewhat within range. Definitely Game 1 and 4, but they were all somewhat obtainable. Even in the late in the fourth quarter, either team could have won, and that just makes better basketball all around, which is good for not only ratings but fans to get engaged, and just overall good for basketball lovers, even if you're not a fan of the Thunder or Pacers in this. And kind of my predictions for tonight, this is going to be it's going to be like all the other games. It's going to be a game of runs. If the Pacers go on a 12-2 run, can the Thunder respond by going on their own 10-0 run, 8-0 run? And this series has proved that whichever team can stop the other from going on more runs will most likely end up being victorious. And I just feel like when the Thunder have home court, and I just feel like with this crowd that they're going to have behind them, that it's going to be so hard for the Thunder players not to have that built up nervousness just kind of go away and just have everybody behind their back. And I have a feeling we're going to be in line for another big game by the big four, the big three, and Alex Caruso. Caruso's just been probably the second best, or at least second most important player in this series behind SGA. He scored 20 last game. Wouldn't be surprised if he puts up another 15 if the Thunder need him to. Interested to see how Chet does following a few bumps in last game, kind of slow to get up on a couple of those. We'll see if he's completely healed from those. He's probably, obviously, nobody at this point in the year is 100%, but if he's good enough to have it not be a worry at all, you're going to get yours from Shea and J-Dub. Hopefully, J-Dub can continue to be that second option that the Thunder need. And for me, it's going to be another one of those games where people are stressed throughout the entire game. The Thunder are as close as they ever been to a title. And I think with the crowd and the home court advantage, I just feel like home court in this series is probably the biggest thing out of anything for these two teams, is just being able to play on your home court. Both of these fan bases care so much. They're both so engaged that I just see this becoming a 5-6 point win for the Thunder. My score predictions in the 110 to 105 range, somewhere in there, which I saw a stat also that I want to show up before we get on out of here, that the Thunder, when they don't allow their opponents to score above 110, so 109 or lower, the Thunder are like 8-0 in this postseason. So that threshold of keeping the Pacers under that 110 mark is going to be massive. And if you can get above that 110 mark and keep them below it, I mean, it's shown that you guys we're most likely going to win. So I have a feeling they're going to get that threshold. We're going to keep them to that lower 100s and be on our way to a 3-2 advantage going back to Indiana, where you have a chance to win on their home court. You have a chance to lock it up and not even give Indiana hope that they can win a Game 7 back in Oklahoma City. But let me know what you guys think down below, what your thoughts are on this Game 5, if you guys are excited as I am for this, and hopefully we just get some great basketball once again tonight, and hopefully the Thunder can pull out a W, and that will be it for me today, guys. I will see you in the next video. Peace.